welcome to ICRA IAS. So, we are going to discuss our test 2, which is on polity. So, we will be discussing only the conceptual question. So, the entire test paper is about to be of two question. One, it is a factual area, another is in a conceptual area. Generally, this polity question comes in this way only. Okay. So, we will be discussing this. I will just mark the factual part and we will discuss the conceptual area. So, the first question, that is, who among the following put forward the idea of constitutional assembly for India? That is, the answer is C. M. N. Roy, because he was a Marxist in 1934. He has advocated about the having the constitutional assembly. Then in 1935 it became the official demand of INC. Okay. So, the second question, so answer for the first is C. Second question, which among the following can be a major drawback of democracy? Major drawback of democracy. Now, we are, if the democracy is a one particular type of a form of a government, it will have a certain drawbacks also. For this, you better read NCERT, new NCERT, okay, the class 9th and 10th, then you will understand the drawback of democracy. Over there it is mentioned. Okay, so answer for this question, the question number 2 is C, that is, both the statement is correct. It can deny the minorities of their right for their views to be considered while framing the law and resolving the contentious issue. Yes, this happened when the democracy turns into a majoritarianism. This was happened in Sri Lanka, in the past Sri Lanka, also happened in at the time of Hitler in Germany. Okay. So, it does happen when the democracy, because one of the major drawback of democracy is actually majoritarianism. Okay. So, it does happen that time when the minorities' rights gets compromised in the pretext of the right of the majority, because democracy is actually a game of number, okay, game of numbers. So, in that case it will happen, okay, because the majority, the one who gets the majority of the vote, especially in the, either it is a system of the, again, a single transferable vote system or the proportional representation system. In either of the case, it will happen that democracy is turning into a different context. Okay. Then another, so this statement is actually correct. The democratic government with the majority, especially on the large one, can become an authoritarian or dictatorial one. Yes, it is correct. Majoritarianism turns into a dictatorialism, dictatorial regime. This happened over a time. The history has witnessed from the various part of the world, the country has turned into a dictatorship. So, this is also a, you can say, a drawback of the democracy. Okay, the answer C is correct for both, because we have to choose the which of the statement is true. Now, again we have question number 3, it is a factual question. So, I will be just repeating only the answer, that is important. The answer for this is A, because regulating act, it is the first act, first law made by British Parliament, okay, made by British Parliament, okay, to control the East India Company function in India. Okay, this is again the first statement itself. So, this answer is correct. It designates the Governor General of Bengal as a Governor General of India. So, this does not happen. The Governor General of India, it came into government of India. This Governor General of India has came in the later, okay, later regulating or Indian Council Act for that matter. Okay, Charter Act, that is 1833, when William Bentinck being the first Governor General of India. So, it is a factual, kindly read it. The question number 4. Okay, question number 4, the directive principles, new directive principles in relation to cooperative society, that is being added. So, we have to just mention the what is the amendment. So, amendment is actually a fourth answer is 97th Amendment Act, that is the answer. Okay, this is the new cooperative society that is being added by the 97th Constitutional Amendment Act to promote the, you can say, the local industries, okay, or you can say better you understand the cooperative societies to enhance the cooperative society, or to let us take an example of Amul, that is Anand. Okay. So, it was the best, you can say we have actually experimented very elaboratively on that, and we have successfully achieved very it becomes cooperative society has become one of the major instrument in reducing poverty. Okay. So, for that matter it becomes a very important tool in the hand of the government to fight against the poverty and inequality in the grassroots level. Okay. It also, you can say, the cooperative societies is also you can say the dream of or the vision of Mahatma Gandhi that has been advocated. Okay. So, answer for question number 4, the answer is A. Question number 5, 93rd Amendment Act deals with, so we have to just discuss what it deals with. So, the answer for this question is, question number 5 is B. Okay. The special provision that is related to the for advancement of any social educational backward citizen class. Okay. So, kindly remember that this is again a factual part. Now, question number 6, consider the following statement: the company's dividend was fixed as 10.5%. It provides the company should make the provision of rupees 1 lakh for the education. Now, this is related to which of the following act that is being made by or create or law that is being passed by the British government. Okay. So, the answer, this is again a factual area, the answer for this question is actually B, that is the Charter Act of 1830. Okay. For better explanation, you kindly go through the solution that is being provided to you. Okay. Question number 7, fundamental right available only to citizen and not to the foreigners. So, what are the fundamental right that is available to the citizen, not to the foreigner? The answer for this is 7th is B. Okay. This is again a factual, that is 15, 16, 19, 29, 30. Okay. This is only available to citizen, it is not shared with the foreigners. Okay. Kindly remember this. The word not is very important here. Which of the among the following below are the features? Now, we have to discuss the feature of Charter Act of 1793. Again, this is a factual part. Kindly go through the that is the explanation that is provided to you. Okay. In this, the answer is D for 8. That is all of the above. The Governor General was given more power. Yes, it is given more power to override his council also. Okay. In under certain circumstance that is available, it lead to a disappearance of the Mal Adalat that is available at that time. Company was granted the authority to grant a license to the individual for trade in the country. This is was one of the major reason why in the world the civil services in India becomes a very promising job or very taken away job, you can say, and very much in demand at that time. The reason was that because the employees were allowed to take the private trade also for that matter. Okay. But this also led to a lot of bribery and corruption over a time, and then the British government has again stopped this. Okay. So, the question number for question number 8, the D is the answer. For question number 9, the term constitutionalism is refers to what? Kindly remember this. The constitutionalism simply means that's supremacy of constitution, and also remember this, supremacy of constitution will be there only where we can find a written constitution. That is, at any context the constitution is supreme, not the government, not the institution, not the people or anybody. The constitution is supreme in that matter. Philosophical angle में अगर हम देखेंगे तो it becomes that the people becomes more, you can say, more powerful. Ultimate is the people. But in the theoretical angle, we will understand, yes, it is a constitution. If we see the document or the institution, the constitution is supreme. So, the answer for this will be, for the question number 9 is A. It denotes the principle that the government derives its authority from a body of law and it is limited by it. Very important word is limited. The government is limited by the constitution, from where it derives its power. The moment you derive a power from some institution or some document, you are subjected or subordinated to that particular authority. So the government derive its power from the constitution, then it becomes a subordinate authority of the constitution. Okay, then the constitution in that context gains the supremacy over the government. Okay, so the answer will be 9A. For question number 10, consider the following statement about the Constitutional Assembly. Now again this is a little factual part. So the answer for this 10th one is A, that is only one. Indian National Court for the first time officially demanded the Constitutional Assembly to frame the Constitution of India. Okay, in 1935, that we have discussed already. All the member of Constitutional Assembly was not elected, it was some were elected and some were nominated. Nominated basically the princely state. Princely states that we have at that time, they were the representative from where was nominated approximately 93, I guess, is there. The number is not important, but there was a nomination, and even they were elected, and this election was actually indirect election. Indirect election. Okay. So question number 11, we have to mark the true statement. Jawaharlal Nehru moved the objective resolution. For 11th, again it is the factual part. The answer for this is A, only one. Jawaharlal Nehru moved the objective resolution. India adopted national flag, that is a different date. Okay, India does not adopted the national flag. India adopted national flag on 22nd of August 1947. Okay, kindly remember the date, not 15, on the 22nd of August. It was English practice to select the oldest member of the as a temporary president of the assembly. So basically it is not a English practice, but it is a French practice. Okay, so kindly note it down. So the question number 11, question number 11, the answer is A. So question number 12, the component of preamble. Preamble, we are actually talking about what is the factual part of the preamble. The answer for this is D, all of the above, because preamble state the constitution derive its authority from the people, because there is an expression of what we the people of India. So it does derive its authority from the people. Preamble specify justice, liberty, equality, fraternity as the objective of the constitution, declare there is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic polity. Yes, so all of this is the part of the preamble. Okay, then who among the following, 13, question number 13, who among the following heads the state committee? It is again a factual part. So answer for this is C. Answer for this is, so answer for 13 is Jawaharlal Nehru, C. Question number 14, the term law in article 13 has been given wide connotation so as to include the following. Okay, wide connotation, what includes the term law? Answer for this is actually D, that is all of the above, because permanent law that is enacted, yes, it will be, because the law that is enacted by the legislature, it will be a law. Temporary law also, which is like an ordinance, so can say you might be reading about the rules that is being made by the executive also, that is also there, rule made by the governor or president also, that will be also there. So it will be also considered as a law under the article 13, that is order, regulation, notification and everything. No legislative source of the law, non-legislative source of the law, like that is the custom or the usage having the force of law also, that's customs or usage or any practice that is happening, so that will be also considered as a law. Okay, so all of the above is actually included in the discussion of basically of all the law as a, so when we take article 13, article 13 is basically giving the power of judicial review. Okay, judicial review. So it becomes very important for that matter, that what comprises or what are the component of the law. Okay, so that is very important. Question number 15, now we have, who among the following did the calligraphy and wrote the handwritten version of original constitution? So it is simply a factual part. So answer is Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada. Okay, so you can remember that. Question number 16, again we are discussing about the Charter Act of 1833. So in this it is again a factual part, kindly remember the answer to this is both 1 and 2 is correct. It deprived governor of Bombay and Madras to their legislative power. So it moves towards centralization of Indian administrative system. Basically it got completed over here. Okay. Now it also attempted to introduce the open competition, recruitment of civil servant. Yes, it happens, open competition of recruitment of civil servant. Indians were also being inducted in it, but there was a great opposition from the East India companies, okay, in London, and so the Indians were not allowed at that time. By that time, okay, it was proposed, but this was being removed over time. Okay. So the answer to this is C, that is both 1 and 2. Question number 17, the proposal of framing the independent constitution of India to be adopted after the World War II was signed by. The proposal of framing independent constitution of India to be adopted after the World War II was signed by whom? So it is a factual part. Signed by whom? You can say signed by, that is B, Cripps mission. Okay. B, Cripps mission. Now again question number 18, which of the following the feature of democracy? Now we are discussing. Quick decision making is not a feature of democracy. Okay, kindly remember this. Quick decision making is never a feature of democracy. It is a decision of, you can say, the autocracy, the monarchy, dictatorship. Slow decision is basically, slow decision making is actually a criticism of democracy, having a slow decision. It is a criticism. It results in improved quality of decision making. Yes, it does, because of the this, why this happen, improved quality of decision making, because of consensus that we are actually building, or you can say the negotiation that is happening. It is based on the principle of political equality also. It does. Political equality simply means that over here is that everybody has a right to occupy public office. Okay. So it becomes the, so it is what we can say political equality means this, or either there is now two method of occupying the public office. Either you conduct an election and become a ministers and executive or legislature, temporary executive. Another method is that you can become the civil servant. Okay. In both the cases that will be counted as a public office, and if that is counted as a public office, what does it means? That you are, if the public office is not limited to a particular class or a caste, it is open to everybody. Okay. So the answer will be C. Okay, 2 and 3. Now question number 19, match the following. It is simple, so I will be just marking you that what is the answer, that is B. Okay, kindly note it down. What is the answer? John Mathai, you can say which portfolio is having in the interim government. Question number 20, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act added which of the following? 47th Amendment Act, it is again a factual part, that it is a D, that is way B and C. 42 fundamental duties, it added yes. 3 new DPSP is there, yes. Facilitated the proclamation of emergency in the part of a territory of India, yes, it is there. So all the 3, so I can say answer is D. Now question number 21, which of the following statement, consider the following statement, First, the constitution contain only the fundamental principle of governance. First, the constitution contains only fundamental principle of governance. Okay. So this is actually a correct statement. Contains only the fundamental principle of governance. It does not only contains, the word only has been used. It does contain the fundamental principle of governance, but it also contains the fundamental principles of how society is going to be organized. Okay, it gives the liberty to the individual, how the society is going to be progress, how the state is going to protect the rights of the individual also, in which area the state can intervene. Okay, what are the independent institutions also. So it can say in this case this statement is actually wrong. Okay, and we have to find the false statement. So this is actually a correct statement in this regard. So first will be taken as a correct one. The matter related to establishing the political convention has not been included in constitution. The matter related to establishing political convention has not been included in the constitution. Not been included, no, this is actually not a correct statement. It has been left to the, you can say, those matters which are in a democratic country has been left to the ordinary legislation or established political convention has been included in the constitutional document in itself in India. Okay, so it is there, political conventions is actually there. Okay, has not been included in the country. It is, we have already included that the political conventions, democracy and other setups that we are looking for. So this statement is false, we have already taken. Okay, so not is not there. So answer will be C. Now question number 22. Who among the following state the Constitution of India has been framed after the ransacking all the known constitution of the world? Okay, so this is actually again a factual part. It is said by Ambedkar himself in the Constitution Assembly. When it was targeted, when it was criticized, or the Indian Constitution is criticized as a plagiarized document. Okay, so in this response, the Ambedkar has given this statement. Okay, ransacking all the known constitution of the world. Question number 23. Which of the following form of philosophical part of the Indian Constitution? Which of the following forms the philosophical part? Now we are talking about the philosophical part of the Constitution, and we have to find the true statement in this. So the answer for this is fundamental right, yet it is a philosophical, because the right, the advocacy of right, or the idea of right, or idea of having a right is itself is a philosophical, it itself is a philosophical, you can say, philosophical opinions that has been proposed by many thinkers over a time. It starts from, you can say, John Locke, and it's still evolving. Mills has given something, even although Marx has not talked about explicitly on the freedom or the right, he talk about freedom, he does not talk about more of a right, but he talk about an equality. Okay, fundamental duties is not a philosophical part, but duties is basically an, you know, socialist principle, although it is also a part of it, but it is a socialist principle, we will consider that way. Okay, third is DPSP, again it is a philosophical part, that is the, you can say, DPSP is a perfect reflection of the socialist model. So you can find there is a blend of liberal ideology with the fundamental right and socialist ideology with the DPSP. Okay, so the answer for this is A, 1 and 3. Question number 24. In the context of India, which of the following is the most appropriate relationship between rights and duties? Okay, most appropriate relationship between the rights and the duties. Rights are correlative with duties. Okay, rights are personal and hence independent. Rights are personal and hence independent of societies and duties. Society and duties. Okay, fine. This can be also in consideration. Most important appropriate relationship in Indian context. Which of the following is the most appropriate relationship between rights and the duties? Okay, rights, not duties, are important for the advancement of personality of the citizen. This is actually American style or the Western style of living. Okay, this is basically a Western style of living, more advocacy to right rather than a duty. highly liberal society is being discussed. Duties, not right, are important for the stability of this. This is an idea that is proposed by the socialist country. Socialist country. Now we are stuck between one and A and B. Now this is one of the very good question that we have right now. Rights are correlative with the duty. Rights are personal and hence independent of societies and duties. No, rights are actually not independent of society. Okay, it can be independent of duties in Indian context because duties is not enforceable, but it is not independent of society. The reason is that you have a limitation on rights. There is a limitation on rights. Why? You kindly read the chapter of right from the NCERT 11th class. Okay, in that chapter it has discussed about पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी की जो किताब है उसमें एक चैप्टर है राइट्स. उसमें आप पढ़ो फ्रीडम और राइट्स. यू रीड फ्रीडम में मिलेगा सेल्फ रिगार्डिंग एंड अदर्स रिगार्डिंग. योर एक्शन हैज़ एन इन्फ्रिंजमेंट ऑन द somebody else right, then your action becomes, or your freedom or your rights get limited in that context. Okay, so this in the option B, rights are personal, that is correct. This statement, this part of the statement is correct. Hence independent of society. No, it cannot be independent of society, but it is independent of duty in the Indian context. So we have a more closer answer to rights are correlatives with duties. It is correlative with duties in certain context. Okay. So the answer is 24th is A. Now question number 5, we have to find the federal feature of Indian Constitution. So what we can have a federal feature of Indian Constitution is like we can have a written constitution. Yes, it has to be there because this is taken as a benchmark from the US, because US is a federal country. Along with that it has a written constitution. Okay, so we will needing this flexibility in the constitution. It cannot be a part of a, okay, say it is a feature of a federal feature. Inflexibility is a part of federal feature. Flexibility is a part of a unitary feature. Unitary feature is a flexible ज़्यादा रहता है, it can be changed. The constitution can be changed anytime. Supremacy of constitution, it will be there a supremacy of constitution. Yes, it is a written constitution, then there will be a supremacy of constitution in itself. So the answer is 1 and 3 only in that case. Okay. Answer 25. Which of the following is the conscience of the constitution? So we have to talk about righteousness of constitution. That is which part we can say that this is the conscience of the constitution. So the answer for this is actually for DPSP and fundamental right. Question number 26. Answer is 26 का आंसर है A. Question number 27. The concept of secularism in India. The concept of secularism in India is described as religion and state must be strictly separated. Now this is actually not a part of a, this is not an understanding of secularism in Indian context. It is an understanding of secularism of Western context. In Western, especially in France and America, this can be found. Religion and state must be strictly separated, and it got separated. Freedom of religion of both individual and community. Now this is also actually given in India, okay, in Indian context, that every community, particular religious community, has their you can say the right to practice their own religion, but there is a limitation wherever the state will find that is that particular practice or the religious practice or the community practice is going against the spirit of the individual, then the state can be intervened. Same as what happened when India framed at the beginning of our independence, the government has framed Hindu Code Bill. The same way we have the Triple Talaq Bill also. Okay, Triple Talaq Act abolishing the Talaq-e-Biddat. Okay, so in that case we have intervened. to protect the individual liberty. Okay, right to religion, when we come in right to religion and right to practicing a religion for a particular community, right of a community to practice a religion, it comes into conflict with the individual right, then individual right gets supersedes, or it get the upper hand on the rights of the communities. Okay. In the case of the western countries, right to communities is actually not there over there. Okay. So, it is there in this, in India only. So, the answer for this is B, I guess the true. No? Okay, fine, we have to find the true. So, the answer is B. Now, British, we have to just match the following. So, answer for 28 will be C. Question number 29, which of the following 8th schedule originally. So, again this is very important, this schedule kindly read and go. So, answer for this is 29 is D. 29 is D. Okay. Kindly read it properly from the explanation part. Question number 30, consider the following statement. Consider the following statement. 8th schedule is added by 74th Amendment Act. So, sorry, 11th schedule is added by 73rd. Yes, it is correct. 3rd schedule deals with the provision related to emolument, allowance and privilege. So, this is wrong. It is not dealing with this. So, we will be having the correct statement will be 1. It is a factual part. Kindly go through it. The answer will be A. Question number 31. Which of the following are the fundamentals of the governance of the country? So, which will be the fundamentals for the governance of the country? It will be a DPSP again. So, kindly remember this, DPSP, it is factual. Which of the following is the most appropriate definition of equality? So, if we understand the absence of definition of equality, so the best answer for this is absence of privileges of any section of society. So, when you remove the privileges, it automatically becomes, the society becomes equal. Okay, in this concept, absence of restraint is actually a definition for freedom. Okay, absence of restraint. So, the answer for 32 will be B. Who has coined the term separation of power? It is again fact, the Montesquieu. Okay, separation of power. The Montesquieu has given this concept in his work Spirit of Law. Spirit of Law. Okay. So, question number 34, consider the following notion as conceived in the Constitution. Following notion we have to look into it, that is conceived or it can be found in the Constitution. The phrase unity and integrity of a nation embrace territorial dimensions of national integration only. Okay. The phrase unity and integrity of the nation embrace territorial dimension of national integration only. So, it is talking about national integration only. Okay. So, it is not related to this. So, this is actually a wrong. The phrase unity and integrity ये सिर्फ टेरिटोरियल से ही नहीं लिमिटेड है. यूनिटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी इट इज, यू कैन से इट इज अ philosophical also. It is can be related to human also. Okay, not only the territories. Unity and integrity. Okay, it is related to the human also, that we are so diverse that we should be living together rather than fighting for our regional aspirations. We should be thinking more of, you can say, more of a India, then we are thinking more of a Punjabi, more of a Bengali, more of a Madrasi, more of a Mumbaikars, more of a Delhiites, more of a Bhojpuri, or whatever you play, Bihari, okay, whatever play Rajasthani, Gujarati, rather than we are focusing on this, we should be focusing more on you can say a single unit of our identity, that is your country. So, it is also talk about this also. Okay. So, Constitution does not talk about nation, unity and integration of a nation in a territorial dimensions only, but it will also talk about the social dimensions also. Okay. The constitution not only ensure material betterment and maintain a democratic setup, but also recognize that the personality of every individual is sacred. Not only ensure the material benefit also, yes, that is correct, maintain a democratic setups also, but also recognize the personality of even of every individual is actually sacred, that is given in his fundamental rights. Okay. So, this is statement is correct. So, the answer will be B for 34. Question number 35. Question number 35. Under the Constitution of India, which of the following is not fundamental duties? Now, we have to mention which is not a fundamental duty. It is the factual part. Kindly read it. Answer is A. Okay. Now, question number 36. Which of the following has been correctly matched? We have to discuss the correctly match. Again, this is the factual part. So, we will be just I will mark the what is the correct answer. So, the answer for this is question number 36 is actually C, that is 3 only. Recall, it is a method by which the voter can remove the representative or an office bearer before the expiry of his term when he fails to discharge his duties properly. Okay. So, this is the correct statement that is given. So, and other two are not correct, the referendum and plebiscite. Now, question number 37, consider the following statement about citizenship in India. The children of foreign diplomat posted in India can acquire the Indian citizenship by birth. Okay. So, we have to find the false statement. So, this is not correct. They cannot take the children, you can say the children of the foreign diplomat posted in India, enemy alien cannot acquire the Indian citizenship by birth, because this is not actually there in the provision of the Indian Constitution Act, sorry, Citizenship Act of 1955. They have been provided the you can say cover under the many other method we have designed for that, for the acquisition of citizenship. Okay. In Indian citizenship, only by birth is eligible for the office of president. By birth, no, this is the case with American citizenship, but in the case of India, it can be taken, you can say a person from this one registration, and he becomes the any other method other than, you can say by birth, any other method like we have the registration practices, from where through registration also you can be a citizen of India. So, in that case it can becomes office of president. Okay. So, this statement both the statement is correct, sorry, wrong, but we are looking after the false statement. So, the answer is C. Okay. We are looking for the false statement, the answer will be C. Now, consider the following, question number 38. Consider the following statement: the state can provide for the reservation of appointment of the post in the favor of any backward class. Now, we have to see the statement described under the article 16. The state can provide for the reservation of appointment of the post in the favor of any backward class. It is not adequately represented in the state. Now, this is there. This is considered as an affirmative action. Affirmative action of the government. The example is, you can say affirmative action is a reservation, okay, for the backward class. So, we have a various method of reservation in the country. Another, the total reservation quota should not exceed 50%. So, total reservation quota should not exceed 50%, okay, but it has reached up to now currently in India it is 59.5%. Okay, the total reservation 59.5%. So, the answer is A. Question number 39, we are talking about delimitation commission. The order of delimitation commission cannot be challenged in the court of law. Yes, it cannot be challenged in the court of law because it is immune from judicial review also. Okay, judicial review se bhi immune hai. Okay, their decision are final. When the order of delimitation commission are laid before the Lok Sabha or the state assembly, they cannot affect any modification in the order. So, again this is also correct, they cannot do anything on that, they just approved it, okay, they just approve it, they cannot make any changes into it. So, the answer for 39 is C. Question number 40, who among the following reflects the most important relationship, which one of the following reflects the most appropriate relationship between law and liberty, okay. So, this is again a very conceptual question, kindly pay attention over here. We are discussing about the relationship between, the question is demanding the relationship between the law and the liberty and the most appropriate one, the most appropriate one. If there are more law, there is less liberty. If there is more law, there will be a less liberty. If there are no law, there is no liberty, okay. There is no law, there is no liberty. If there is a liberty, law have to be made by the people. If the law are changed too often, liberty is in danger. Now, we will start from D. If there is a law, law is changed too often, liberty is in danger. This is correct, okay. When law is very frequently changed, now this is actually a very not very conducive relationship between the law and the liberty. If the liberty, if the law continuously change, the person does not know what liberty is going to be curved again. So, there is a very uncertainty to the liberty itself. The liberty is put to the stake and it is in danger, okay. So, this is also, if the law are changed too often, liberty is in danger. Now, this is also correct, okay. Statement is correct. If there is a liberty, law has to be made by the people. अगर liberty है तो law people बनाए, ठीक है. Now, this is talking about a democratic setup. Now, this part of the question is a democratic setup, and if there is a liberty, there is a liberty does not mean that the government should be democratic. The government can be anything, but the law is a democratic. The condition of democracy is only when the people forms the government, or people decide that which government is going to be ruling on them. So, this is very paradoxical statement we can say, okay. Law has to be made by the people, okay. Now, option B, if there are no law, there is no liberty. Now, this is a correct statement, because there is a philosophy that if there is no law, अगर कोई लॉ ही नहीं है कहीं पर भी, ठीक है, तो तुम्हारे पास क्या है, तुम्हारे पास में माइथोलॉजिकली एक्सट्रीम लिबर्टी है, मतलब तुम्हारे पास में एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी है. लेकिन जैसे ही तुम्हारे पास में एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी आएगी, तुम्हारे पास में लिबर्टी ही नहीं होगी. कैसे? अगर तुम्हारे पास एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी है तो तुम्हारे सामने वाले के पास में या नेक्स्ट पर्सन के पास में भी तो एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी है. तो दोनों की अगर एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी है तो वेयर इज लिबर्टी? लिबर्टी इज जीरो देन, ठीक है. अगर एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी है दोनों के पास में, तो दोनों के पास में एक्चुअली कोई लिबर्टी नहीं है. देखा जाएगा तो लिबर्टी तब अच्छा है जब बेसिकली लिबर्टी कुछ कंस्ट्रेन के साथ में आए, तब आप लिबर्टी एक्सरसाइज करोगे. अब मेरे पास एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी है तुम्हें मार देने की, क्योंकि मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा, आई हैव एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी टू किल यू. नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन इन दैट केस? दैट यू आर किलिंग मी. नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन इन दैट केस? एब्सोल्यूट लिबर्टी. The other person whom I am going to kill, he also has an absolute, he or she also has an absolute liberty to kill me. So there is no liberty actually, okay, agar law hi nahi hai to. So this is also a correct statement. If there are more law, there is less liberty. There is less liberty. More law, there is less liberty is actually contradictory. जितना ज़्यादा लॉ होगा बेसिकली उतने ज़्यादा लिबर्टी तुम्हें मिलती है एक्चुअली में, ठीक है. द प्रिजम्पशन ऑफ द लॉ इज नॉट टू एक्चुअली curtail your liberty but to enhance your liberty over a time, because wherever there is a grey area or area in which the liberty should not be practiced, liberty should not be there, a liberty should be there, in that case it does not happen. So, answer this is wrong. 4 B और D में आंसर है, the most appropriate is B, okay, the most close. वैसे बहुत सब्जेक्टिव है, डिपेंड करता है कि यूपीएससी क्या लेगा या हम लोग क्या लेंगे. आंसर बी एंड डी इज more close, but it is talking about the most appropriate relationship, so answer will be B, okay, the basic one. We have to talk about question number 41. We have to talk about Charter Act 1853. It is a factual part, so I'll just mark the answer, that is the D. We have to find the false question, false statement. The answer is D, that is none is false, both the statement is true. Consider the following again. Indian Council Act 1861, factual part. Question number this answer is B. 42 answer is D, not B. Not confused. Answer is D. All of the above is correct. It introduced the portfolio system, yes. Legislative power restore किया बॉम्बे का, that is again we are moving towards you can say the decentralization of power, and we have actually ended by in the article in the Government of India 1935 फेडरल सिस्टम ही बना दिया हमने. It provides for the establishment of new legislative council, बंगाल नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर एंड पंजाब का न्यू लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल बनाया गया वहाँ के लिए. Is it is true? So the answer is D. Okay, the 42. Now question number 43. The Indian Constitution called a living document. Why? Because the Indian Constitution is open to change as per the changing need of the society. Yes, it is the main reason. That is the reason it is known as a living constitution. Okay. Then Indian Constitution provide in a flexibility of interpreting judiciary. Flexibility, yes, we have the article 13 and 32 for the judicial review by the Supreme Court. So the answer will be C. Question number 44. The term union in the article 1 is discussed. So the answer for this is actually D. All includes territory of India also, union territory of territory that may be acquired in the future also. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So the question number 45. Now we have to consider the following statement. Law made for the admission or establishment of new state and formation of new state treated as an amendment under the Constitution, under Article 368. So no, actually, because it does not include this. It is just a law made by Parliament. So it will be simply considered as a normal law. Settlement of boundary dispute between India and another country does not require constitutional amendment. It does not require constitutional amendment. Yes, it is correct. It does not require a constitutional amendment. It can be simply done by the executive authority. Okay. Executive authority. Wakhan corridors settlement took place between India and Bangladesh. So this is actually wrong. This is actually wrong. Wakhan border is actually territory between Afghanistan extending to China, separating Tajikistan from Pakistan and Kashmir. Okay. So this is particularly that corridor. This is also wrong. So the answer will be B. 46. Consider the following statement about Fazal Ali Commission that we are talking about. So the answer, this is again a factual part, you can read in the basic books. Answer will be D, none of this. It accepted the criteria for the division of state, applied one language, one state. One language, one state. So basically Fazal Ali Commission rejected one language, one state. It is not accepted, they rejected. Okay. 8th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956 did away with the distinction between Part 1, Part B. State was done away, and part C was were abolished. Okay. So, for this this one again is wrong. Okay, the 8th constitution wala, it is done by 7th constitutional amendment act. Okay. Now, question number 47, consider the following statement: whenever the constitutional assembly meet at the legislative body, it was chaired by the, whenever the constitutional assembly meet as a legislative body, it was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. 47, no, it is not chaired by Rajendra Prasad. Rajendra Prasad was basically the president of Constitutional Assembly, but it was not chaired by him because it was chaired by the first speaker. लेजिस्लेटिव बॉडी की तरह अगर वो मिलेगा तो स्पीकर उसे चेयर करेगा, ना कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल असेंबली का प्रेसिडेंट. ओके, द सेकंड, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल असेंबली इलेक्टेड राजेंद्र प्रसाद एज द फर्स्ट प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया. दिस स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. सो आंसर फॉर 47 इज बी. 48, consider the following statement: Constitution provide for translation in Hindi language of every amendment of the Constitution made in English language. Constitution does provide such kind of a facility. Indian federalism is described as bargaining federalism by Granville Austin. Indian federalism described bargaining federalism by, not by Granville Austin, but by Morris Jones. Okay, Morris Jones. So, the answer will be A. 49, which of the following is not a reason for losing Indian citizenship by deprivation? Not a reason. So, I will just mark the answer, it will be C. Indian citizenship acquired by citizen, not a reason for losing Indian citizenship by deprivation. कब नहीं होगा? जब इंडियन सिर्फ वॉलंटरी एक्वायर करेगा सिटीजन ऑफ द अनदर कंट्री. ओके, नॉट अ रीजन. डिप्राइवेशन से नहीं होगा, ये ऑटोमेटिकली सस्पेंड हो जाएगा. ऑटोमेटिक सस्पेंशन होता है. ओके, सिटीजनशिप. क्वेश्चन नंबर 50, it is a factual, we have to, what sovereign is related over here. So, the answer is for this is actually 50 is A. It implies that India is neither a dependence nor a dominion of any other nation, because the sovereignty itself says that India is a sovereign to take. Sovereignty is related to making a law, making a own law, and not at anybody's mercies for the ratification of that law. So, in that case India is making their own law. The membership of Commonwealth nation limits the sovereign status of the India as its membership, except the British Queen King as the head of the Commonwealth. Okay. Membership of Commonwealth nation limits the sovereignty. कोई भी किसी भी कंट्री, हमने किसी का अगर से सब्सक्राइब किया, जैसे कॉमनवेल्थ हो गया, मेंबर बने हम यूएन के मेंबर बन जाए, हम ब्रिक्स के मेंबर हैं, हम और अदर सार्क के मेंबर हैं, इससे हमारी सोवरेनिटी पे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है. एट द सोवरेनिटी लेवल वी आर सोवरेन, वी डोंट नीड एनी वन फॉर दैट मैटर. Okay. So, in that context we are correct. 50 का A है आंसर. Now, question number 51, which of the following feature were not a part of a Government of India Act of 1935? So, it is again a factual question, and we will be only marking out the exact answer to this. So, for question number 51 the answer is C. Question number 51 answer is C, that is 2 and 3 only. Okay. So, if you see 2 and 3 only, how it provided for bicameralism at all the provinces. So, this is not correct. Only 7 provinces got the bicameralism, and not all the provinces of the Government of India Act 1930 in the British India. Even the same bicameralism that got the that 7 provinces that got the bicameralism was continued after India independence. Okay. Of it, then we have also changed over a time. Recently, the Telangana has got the bicameralism after the bifurcation of the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Okay, in the year 2014. Jammu and Kashmir was having the bicameralism, but the recent 2019 amendment, abolition of special status of Jammu and Kashmir, the bicameralism got dissolved. Okay. So, we are having a discussion on this. So, kindly read it properly. So, you will come to know the answer to question number 51 is 2 and 3 only. Now, question number 52, consider the following statement. Now, law made before the Charter Act 1833 was regulating, and those made under this act were called act. After this, the Charter Act 1833, it is called as an act. Okay. So, this statement is actually correct. Before that, it was just a regulating, which was regulating the East India Company. After 1833, the British government took over British administration, but after the revolt of 1857, the British administration has completely taken over the administrative activity or the entire activity of the East India Company in India. So, British government was actually ruling from 18 in the real sense, the more apparent way, it is started ruling from 1857. That is the reason we were having a Indian Council Act 1858 and also 1861 Indian Council Act. Then we have many other acts for that. Continuation. Okay, Lord Ripon resolution of the financial decentralization visualize the development of the local government institution in India. Okay. So, this is again the correct statement. This is the correct statement because Lord Ripon is advocacy of the you can say Lord Mayo's resolution is also there. Lord Ripon resolution of financial decentralization visualize the development of the local self-government in India. Then we have India in 1870. Answer to this is C. Question number 53, which of the following statement below is true? Answer to this is till 1947 the Government of India functions under the provision of Act of 1919 Act only. So, provision of India Act 1919 only, and we have to find the true. So, this is actually true because the Government of India Act 1935 was actually never came into force. The reason was federalism, or you can say All India Federation was never accepted by the parties. Okay. Princely state did not participate into it, so it was not a part of it. And then question number 54, consider the following statement. We have to consider the statement with respect to Indian Independence Act 1947. It designated the Governor General of India and the provincial governor as the constitutional nominee of the head. So, again this is a factual question. Yes, this is correct. Both become the constitutional part, that is the governor and the Governor General of India. Okay. The Constitution Assembly of India formed in 1946 and becomes the Parliament of Indian domain. Yes, this is also correct, and it functions as a legislative body of the country till we were having the fresh election in the year 1951-52. Okay. So, answer is C is correct. Okay. Question number 55, consider the following statement with reference to the preamble. Now, preamble, we are talking about the preamble. A preamble is a source of a power to legislate and prohibition upon the power of the legislature. Okay. So, you can say preamble is a source of power to the legislature and prohibition upon the power of the legislature. Basically, in the constitution, the part which has the, you can say, which will having a enforceability, okay, which will be having a enforceability, that will act as a, you can say, limitation on the government, and the part which is enforceable is actually fundamental right. So, this will act as a limitation on the power of the legislature. Preamble does not have such kind of a power, or it is not enforceable by the law, then it cannot be considered as a limitation on the legislature. So, this statement is actually wrong. Okay. It is non-justiciable, that means it is the provision are not enforceable in the court of law. So, we have already discussed it is not justiciable. So, this statement is actually right. So, answer is B 55, that is 2 only. Okay. Then we have considered 56. Consider the following statement about the Indian Council Act 1909. So, we were discussing about Indian Council or Government of India Act 1909. 1909. So, in this the Indian member were taken for the first time. Again, this is the factual part. 56. So, I will be just mentioning you the answer, that will be B. Sorry, answer is C 56, that is both the statement is correct. An Indian member was taken first time in the Executive Council of Governor General of India. Okay. Satyendra Prasad Sinha was the first person to be appointed as the Executive Council of the Governor General of India, and he was a law member for that matter. It increases the legislative council at the central level and the provincial level. Yes. So, we were having a method of you can say the official and non-official members. So, basically these two were increased with every legislation that has been passed since 1861. इंडियन काउंसिल एक्ट 1861 से बेसिकली ये इंक्रीज ही हुआ है, ठीक है, ऑफिशियल मेंबर्स एंड द नॉन ऑफिशियल मेंबर्स. Okay, so this both got increased over time, which were the part of the legislative council at the center and the provincial level both. So, the answer to this 56 is C. Now, 57, consider the following statement related to Munteku-Chelmsford reform. This is a reform of 1919. Okay, Government of India Act 1919 also. It introduced the system of direct election. It extended the principle of communal representation to Sikh and Christian. So, the system of direct election was already introduced from the Act of 1909. It got introduced in India. Okay. So, this is first statement is it does not introduce the system of direct election. It was already a part of it. We were already having a direct election for that matter. So, basically answer B is actually correct for 57. Okay. So, it does not introduce the system of direct election. The system of direct election was introduced in 1909. Okay. So, don't get confused. Question number 58, we have to mention the creation. It is a factual part. Kindly remember the creation area. The answer is for 58 is A. 59, which among the following which among the following methods. Okay, fine. We have to find it got repeated. Which of the following are mentioned in the DPSP? We have to find the DPSP. To secure the right to work, to separate judiciary, yes, executive के साथ में, and to improve the health, yes, all these are mentioned in the DPSP. So, answer is D 59. So, question number 60, directive principle of state policy and non-justiciable character. Yes, this statement is actually correct. The assertion is correct. It is non-justiciable, that is it cannot be enforceable by court of law. Directive principle of state policy resemble the instrument of it does not resemble. Okay, does not resemble the instrument of accession of Government of India Act 1935. Directive principle resembles the instrument of accession of Government of India Act 1935. Actually, it does not resembles. Instrument of accession is basically created in 1935 under the legally in 1935 and Government of India Act 1935. It is basically used for the incorporation of princely state, which was used after 1947 Act. Okay, it became legally in India and under the Act of 1935, but it is used for the princely. It has no relation with the DPSP. So, the directive principle resembles the instrument of accession of Government of India Act 1935. So, answer for this is B. Okay. Both are individually true, and it is A. R is not a correct explanation of B. Okay. Question number 61, we have to discuss the fundamental duties added आफ्टर द 47 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट रिकमेंडेशन जो था वो बेसिकली स्वर्ण सिंह कमेटी के रिकमेंडेशन पे फंडामेंटल राइट्स को इनकॉर्पोरेट किया गया था. Following statement we have to discuss. The amendment bill can be introduced by the private member. The amendment bill can be introduced by the private member or not. So basically amendment bill can be introduced by the private member. A member of the parliament who is not a minister is known as basically the private member. Amendment bill can be only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. This is a wrong statement. An amendment will require the prior permission of the president. So again, this is also wrong. It does not require a prior permission of the president, and it cannot be introduced by the private member. It should be introduced by the government, by the minister. So answer is D. Okay, 62 is D. None of this. Establishment of new state can be made by the amendment. Establishment of new state can be made by amendment done with the simple majority. Yes, it can be, because simple majority is required in the amendment of the creation or adaptation or dissolve of the new state. So this statement is right. Amending distribution of legislative power between the union and the state require the special majority of the parliament and the consent of the state. Yes, it is a federal matter, so it will be requiring the consent of the state as well as the special majority. So this is also correct statement. So answer is C. Consider the following statement with reference to the preamble. Question number 64. So following with the Berubari case 1960, Supreme Court said that the preamble is a part of the constitution. The preamble is a part of the constitution, and we have to find, no, it is said it is not a part of the constitution, it cannot be amended in Berubari case. So this statement is actually false, and we have to find the false statements. So this will be our one option. LIC of India case 1991, Supreme Court held again that the preamble is not a part of the constitution. It is not like that. In this case, after the Keshavananda Bharati case in 1973, preamble has become the part of the constitution, and since the judgment ahead, we have considering the preamble as a part of the constitution can be amended. So this statement is false. If the statement is false in both the case, both the statement is false, so both the statement is required for our option. So both statement is correct option as per the requirement of the question. So the answer for this is C. Okay, question number 64. Answer is C. Now question number 65. Which of the following provision of the Constitution of India has a bearing on education? Now we are talking about the part of the provision of the Constitution which has an impact on education. Directive principle, yes. Fundamental right, yes. Fundamental duty, yes. 7th schedule, yes. So all. 65. 65D is the answer. Question number 66. Economic justice is an objective of the Constitution has been one of India provided in economic justice. So economic justice can be seen, economic justice is basically related to the socialist method. So it can be found only in the DPSP. So the answer for this economic justice, which one aspect is the DPSP, it is mentioned. Okay, so you will find the economic justice in DPSP. Along with that, we also having the economic justice specifically mentioned in the Constitution, in the preamble. Okay, so answer for 66 is B. Okay, so in both the places it is mentioned. You can take an example of DPSP of equal pay for equal work. Example like this. Now question number 67. The origin of the making of ordinance power of India can be traced back to where? The ordinance making power can be traced back to, it is a factual part, so it can be traced back to Government of India Act 1935. Okay. 68. Consider the following statement. Free and fair election and principle of equality are basic feature of of the constitution. So yes, free and fair election and principle of equality is both are the basic feature of the constitution, has been as being pronounced by the court, Supreme Court of India. So this statement is actually correct. The constitution, the division of power between the center and the state is equally demarcated. The constitution, the division between center and state is equally demarcated. No, actually our constitution is biased towards center, okay, more tilted towards centricism or centralization rather than focusing on the federalism. You can say our constitution, the federal scheme in our constitution is basically not so much emphasized upon. It is like you can say okay case for that matter. Okay, so this statement is wrong. We are having, because all the, you can see, if you see the in the 7th schedule, all the matter is basically presented in the 7th schedule. In the center list is heavily tilted for the revenue. Okay, so that is the reason in even it get extraordinary power during the time of the president, sorry, emergency time, emergency situation, it get an extraordinary power for that matter. The constitution recognizes the interdependence of civil and economic right. The constitution recognizes the interdependence of civic and economic right. There is no interdependence such like that for the civic and the economic rights. So we do not have interdependence. Civic, basically you can say the liberal. So answer for this is C. Now question number 70. According to the Constitution of India, meaning state is, so we have to consider what is the meaning of the state. The executive and legislature of the union and state only. No, what about the in that case what will be the authority of this local government? So local government is not included in this statement, so cannot be considered. Option A, that is this, and the all the local authority. Okay, local authority is considered, that is fine. Then what about the statutory and non-statutory body should be also there? Yes, so answer is D. Okay, so all should be comprising of the under the states. So we have to, in question number 71, we have to consider the following statement with regard to Article 31C, that is being inserted after 24th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, it was inserted after 24th Constitutional Amendment Act. Second, the SC made an observation about 31C, stating that Article 31C come under Article 14, and when Article 13 comes, 14 goes out. Okay, so that is correct. It does, because it has a relation to the DPSP and fundamental rights. So this is correct. Okay, question number 72, consider the following statement under the Article 29. 29 provides that any section of the citizen regarding any part of India having the distinct language, script or culture of its own shall have the right to conserve the same. Okay, so this statement is actually correct. It is actually the explanation of Article 29. Then in second statement, Article 29 grant the protection to both religious minorities as well as the social minorities. So yes, it represents both religious endowments also and the social endowments also in that case. So for that matter, it is both actually protecting both socially and educationally बैकवर्ड के लिए माइनॉरिटी है ये 29 और 30. सो बेसिकली इट डज दैट केसेस. सो 29 में ठीक है. दिस इज ऑल्सो अ करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. सो आंसर इज सी. 73. The scope of life and personal liberty, as Anvi says in the Article 21 of the Constitution of India, has expanded considerably over the year. Which of the following can still not be subject to this protection? Right to good health. Right to good health. Yes, it is there. Right to shelter is also there. The right under settlement to claim bonus or dearness allowance. This is actually not there, okay, in the part of 37, 73. So you can say the dearness allowance and everything gets to the one who is in the organized sector, that is one is having a job in the organized sector. These people are getting the dearness allowance in the basically in the government sector. They get the bonus and the dearness allowance. The bonus is there for the corporate sectors also, but it is on the discretionary of the particular company whether they are giving it or not. It cannot be demand from the company on the pretext of under the Article 21 for that matter. So it is not there. So it is still a part of a individual discretion. Question number 74. Punitive detention is to punish a person for an offence committed by him after the trial and the conviction of the court. Question number 74. Yes, this statement is correct. Punitive punishment is this only, to punish the person for an offence person of an offence committed by him after the trial and the conviction of the court. Preventive detention means detention of the person without trial and conviction of the court. Yes, preventive detention is this only. We have the detention of the person without the trial and the conviction. So the answer for this is, both the statement is actually correct. It is the definition of that particular preventive detention and preventive detention. So the answer is C. Now question number 75, consider the following statement regarding the ex post facto law. So the law which is actually can be applicable, suppose what is ex post facto law? It simply means that law is created in 2020, but the law is considering applicable from 2010. Okay. So whatever the crime that happened before 2000, after 2010, and but the law is created in 2020, all the crimes will be scrutinized under or will be comes under the that particular law that is being made. In the case of India, this ex post facto can be applicable in the civil cases, not in the criminal cases. Okay, so kindly remember this. The person can be subject to penalty greater than the prescribed by the law in the force at the time of the commission of the act. So this case is actually not there, cannot be, penalty cannot be greater. Okay, it will never happen that the law is saying something or telling something that this should be the punishment and it get increase that punishment. This is not the case. Okay, the law will be made and the one cannot exceed that particular you can say the judgment or sorry particular penalty that is being prescribed by the law. The court cannot give more than that. No person shall be convicted in an offence except for the violation of the law in force at the time of the commission of the act. So this statement is actually correct. First is wrong. Okay, this is actually granted under the Article 20. No person shall be convicted of an offence except for the violation of the law in force at the time of the commission of the act. So basically no person shall be convicted of the offence except, so this is basically if there is a crime related to the, you can say that it is a criminal cases, then it is not. But if in the civil cases that is a matter of law, tax, matter of land or something, then it is there. लेकिन क्रिमिनल केसेस में एक्स पोस्ट फैक्टो एप्लीकेबल नहीं होता है, जो मैंने तुमसे कहा है. ठीक है, सो दिस विल बी द सेकेंड. सो द आंसर फॉर दिस इज बी 75 के लिए. क्वेश्चन नंबर 76. सो इट इज़ अ फैक्चुअल पार्ट, सो आई विल बी जस्ट डिस्कसिंग द आंसर टू यू. Answer for not correctly match is basically B, not correctly match. prohibition of employment of children in 23. Okay, so this is basically 23 is related to traffic of human trafficking, it is related to the human trafficking. 24 is related to the employment of children, so human trafficking. Okay, it is related to human trafficking. Question number 77, which of the following are mentioned under the separate article part 3 of the Constitution of India pertaining to fundamental rights. So it is again a factual part. Abolition of touchability is a part of a are mentioned under separate articles in the part 3 of the Constitution. So we need to discuss which are the thing that is mentioned in the part 3 of the Constitution with the individual articles. Abolition of untouchability, it is there. Abolition of title under article 18 is there, it is 17, this is 18. Freedom as a payment of taxation for the promotion of particular religion, it is under 25 to 28. Protection of interest of the minorities, yes, it is there, 29 and 30. So the answer for this is 73 is D, all. Now question number 78, state can impose reasonable restriction on the ground of freedom of speech and expression. So the answer is sovereignty and integrity of India. Yes, it can done. So the answer for this is A. Okay, that is sovereignty and integrity of the India. Question number 79, which of the following directive principles was not added by 42 Constitutional Amendment Act? Not added by the 42 Constitutional Amendment Act. So it is actually there. You kindly remember, एक लिस्ट बना लो अपने पास में कि कौन सा ओरिजिनली फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़ है, कौन सा कब और कब कैसे ऐड हुआ है. तो दैट विल बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. So for this question the answer is C, that is to make the provision for just human condition for the work and the maternity relief. Okay, so this has been added. These are not been added after 49th. So answer is C. Question number 80, the term double jeopardy refers to. Double jeopardy simply means you cannot get a punishment, twice punishment for same crime. For same crime. Okay, no person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offence more than once. Yes, it is there under Article 20. No person accused of any offence shall be compelled to the witness against himself. It is a self incrimination. Self incriminations. So basically it is not a part of it. Okay, so this is the answer. Term double jeopardy is refers to Article 80 is A. 81, consider the following statement with related to Article 21. It comes under the part, yes, it is there. It's come under the part 3 of the Indian Constitution. It is correct. This statement is correct. The provision was added after 87th Constitutional Amendment Act. 87th Constitutional Amendment Act. No, it is 86th. It is added by 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. It is related to right to education, so it is not there. So the answer for this is 31 is A. Because the moment I came to know in the first and second option that this is actually a wrong statement, so it is no use of reading this too, because I know all cannot be correct. So my option is here. Question number 82, consider the following statement with reference to the India and British Parliament system. Okay, the Indian Parliament is not a sovereign body, while the British Parliament is a sovereign body. Yes, this statement is correct. The reason behind is that Indian Parliament is not a sovereign body because the sovereignty of the country is lies to its constitution. So the reason we have a written constitution, sovereignty means you have a complete authority and nobody is able to question your authority. Okay, nobody will ever be questioning your authority for that matter. So in this case Indian Parliament is not a sovereign body, means the constitution is supreme. Why we have a written constitution? We have a supremacy of constitution. So the Parliament cannot be supreme. A parliament is not a sovereign body which will take any decision on its own to make a law, where in the case of the British parliament is the same. In the Britain we do not have a written constitution, so we will be having the parliament of Britain is sovereign to make any law, but Indian parliament is not a sovereign to make any law for its own. It has to comply with the provisions of the constitutions. Okay. Second, Britain follow the republican form of government. No, it does not. India follows the republican form of government. Britain follows, you can say, so Britain is basically having a constitutional monarchy. Constitutional monarchy. What is constitutional monarchy? Is that it simply means that the head of state, the position of the seat of the head of the state is reserved to a particular family, and they will always occupy that seat. Okay. So India is a republican form of government. Britain is not. Britain having a constitutional monarchy. So first statement is correct, second is wrong. So the answer for 82 is actually A. Answer for 82 is A. Okay. Now 83, 8th schedule we have to discuss. We have just marked the, I will mark the important one. 83, the answer is C, that is Constitution 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Under which of the following Constitution Amendment Act 4 लैंग्वेज जो ऐड हुए हैं, बोडा, डोगरी, मैथिली एंड सैंथली, किस अमेंडमेंट से? So basically which reads to 22, that is a 92nd Constitutional Amendment Act. 94, question number 84, preamble, the preamble to the Constitution of India does not deals with, preamble किससे डील्स नहीं करता, डील नहीं करता है बेसिकली. 84, सो थॉट ऑफ लिबर्टी ऑफ थॉट यस करता है. इकोनॉमिक लिबर्टी नहीं करता है. एक्चुअली में इकोनॉमिक लिबर्टी से डील नहीं करता है. इकोनॉमिक लिबर्टी से बेसिकली डील हम लोग अंडर द आर्टिकल 19 से करते हैं. ठीक है, प्रोफेशन है हमारा. सो ये डील नहीं करता है, डज नॉट. लिबर्टी ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन इट इज मेंशन, लिबर्टी ऑफ बिलीव इज ऑल्सो देयर. थॉट, बिलीव एंड एक्सप्रेशन इज देयर इन द प्रियम्बल. इकोनॉमिक के लिए वी आर एक्चुअली जस्टिस है, इकोनॉमिक जस्टिस. सो justice, social, economic and political justice that we are talking about, not economic liberty that we are talking about in the preamble. Now question number 85, to promote the harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among the people of India comes under, so it is a part of fundamental duties that we are talking about. So it is one of the fundamental duties, that is to promote the spirit of common brotherhood. Now question number 86, which of the following are envisaged as right against exploitation in India? It is again the factual part. So the answer, right against exploitation, so trafficking is there, part of exploitation. There is 2. Abolition of touchability is right to equality का part है. Protection of interest of the minority, it is also not there. It is a part of 29 and 30. Prohibition of employment of children, it is a part of a right against exploitation. So 1 and 4 is the answer, the C is the answer. Question number 87, which article was considered as the heart and soul of Indian constitution? It is right to constitutional remedies according to the Ambedkar. Okay, right to constitutional remedies, that is under the article, it is an article 32. Okay, right to constitutional remedies. 88, consider the following statement regarding schedule 9. This was the first schedule added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act. So yes, it is correct, it was the first schedule that were actually added after the first Amendment Act 1951. This schedule deals with anti-defection law. No, it deals, anti-defection law deals with schedule 10. Okay, this deals with actually protection from judicial review. Okay, kindly remember, article 31B is covered under the schedule. Article 31B is actually covered under this schedule. Yes, it covers under this schedule, article 31B. Okay, are covered under this. So answer is 1 and 3, that is, it is dealing with the land reform, and the 31B dealing with land reform and abolition of zamindari system and all that. Okay, zamindari system and all that related to that. Okay, question number 89, which of the following Which of the following is the feature responsible for the bulkiness of the Indian Constitution? Geographical factor, yes. Historical factor, yes, because we have a continuity in our history. So, there is the demand for the preservation of culture and everything. So, it got bulkiness in that case also. Political factor has no relation to it. Okay. Yes, if you see the majority of the members of the Constitutional Assembly were having the legal backgrounds, they were mostly the lawyers. Okay. So, this was also the reason that it got bulkiness. So, answer is B 1, 2 and 4. Question number 90. Article 2 deals with the internal adjustment interest of the territories of the State of Union of India. So, this is a factual part. No, it does not. Article 2. Article 3 relates to the admission or the establishment of new states that are not a part of the Union of India. So, this is also not correct. This is actually not correct. This 2 is explanation of this and 3 is explanation of this. So, it got reverse. So, basically none of this is the correct. Okay. Consider the following state. Question number 91. Consider the following statement. Article 31C deals with the saving of law giving effect to the certain DPSP. Yes, we have already discussed. This has been brought by 25th C Constitutional Amendment Act. 31 an exception to the Article 14. Yes, this is also correct. So, both statement is correct. The answer is C for 91. Question number 92. Consider the following statement regarding the martial law. It is imposed on some specific area of the country. It is imposed on some specific area of the country. Yes, it is. It can be imposed on some specific area of the country also or throughout the country also. It affects the fundamental rights and suspend the government and the ordinary law code. It does. So, in both the case this is correct. 91. Martial law can be imposed in specific area also or throughout that particular area also. Okay. It affects the fundamental right, suspend the government of India ordinary. So, no ordinary law, that is the civil law which is not created by the military, it will be applicable on it. So, basically habeas corpus is being removed during that time. So, 1 and 2 is correct. So, answer will be C 92. 93. Question number 93. In Article 15, the use of word only connotes the discrimination on the ground of race, religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth is prohibited. So, that discrimination only connotes क्या है इसका मीनिंग बेसिकली कि डिस्क्रिमिनेशन जो है वो इस ग्राउंड पर अगर हो रहा है रिलीजन, रेस के, कास्ट के, सेक्स के और प्लेस ऑफ बर्थ के बेसिस पर अगर प्रोहिबिशन हो रहा है तो ये अलाउड नहीं है. इसके अलावा अगर कोई और रीज़न है डिस्क्रिमिनेशन का देन इट इज़ अलाउड. और प्रोहिबिशंस है, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन कर रहा है तो इट इज़ अलाउड. इट कैन बी ए इकोनॉमिक रीज़न फॉर द डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. So, it can happen. Suppose you want to travel from one place to another place. You bought a ticket of sleeper class, second class, but you want to travel in the first class. On the basis of that there is a discrimination is happening. So, this is not a discrimination, but this is actually economic discrimination that can be applied on you. So, if they are denying a seat to you for the first class because you belong to certain religion, then it will be prohibited, or belong to a particular race, then it will be prohibited, belong to a particular caste, then it will be prohibited, belong to a particular sex, then it will be prohibited, or be belong from a particular place of birth, then it will be prohibited. Apart from that, the discrimination is done, it is not prohibited. So, this is correct. That discrimination on the ground is not prohibited. Apart from this, discrimination on that other ground is not prohibited, that is what I said. So, both statement is correct, the answer is C. Question number 94. Which of the following provision of the Constitution reveals the secular character of the Indian Constitution? that is the secular character that we are talking about. So, which part of the constitution is actually reflecting the secular character of the constitution, in which the constitutional framer does not consider to put the secular word in the constitution, although the word secular has been incorporated from the 47th Constitutional Amendment Act. Earlier it was not there in the original constitution. Liberty of belief, faith, worship of all citizens. Now word is worship, faith, belief, this all the word is related to the religion. So it is mentioned in the preamble already. The state shall not discriminate against any citizen on the ground of religion, or is mentioned in the fundamental right. So both the statement is correct. Which is the secular in character? The answer is C, both A and B. The state shall not discriminate any citizen on the ground of religion as mentioned in the fundamental right. What does it mean? That the state is neutral. State is neutral, first thing, in religious matter of individual, पहला ये है. And the another one is state itself does not have any religion. So state does not have any religion, it is there, and everybody has a right to religion. So it is both, the part is a secular character, or it is a part of a secularism, or the philosophy, both strengthen the philosophy of the secularism. Okay. So 1 and 2 is correct. 95, again this is the factual part. Consider the following statement regarding the Charter Act 1813. So the answer for this, for 95, is actually C, both the statement is correct. Both the statement is correct. So you kindly go through the explanatory part, you will get it. Question number 96, the significance of fundamental rights. What is the significance of fundamental rights? They check on the absoluteness of. Now what is actually the idea of having the fundamental right? First thing, they check the absoluteness of the authority of the state. Yes, it does, because it acts as a limitation on the working of the government. Okay. Second, they facilitate the establishment of rule of law in the country. Yes, it does. They actually facilitate the rule of law in the country. They facilitate the rule of law in the country. Yes, it does, because it promotes the equality before the law. Equality before law. They protect the interest of the minorities and the weaker section of the society. Yes, they protect the interest of the minority. If you see the philosophy of having the constitution itself, the constitution is never for the majority. The constitution is there only to protect the minority. Okay. The major purpose of having the constitution is to protect the minority, and within that, if we have the fundamental right, it is like a most important part, that we have the better constitution, we have the fundamental right that will protect the interest of the minorities. Yes, it is correct. So all three is there. The answer is D for 96. Now question number 97, which of the following is not a method for amending the different categories of the provision of the constitution? So first, certain provisions may be amended by simple majority. Yes, it is there. Certain provision may be amended by 2/3 majority. Yes, it is there. Certain provision may be amended only by 3/4 majority. No, 3/4 majority is never mentioned anywhere in the constitution. Certain amendment is required to ratify 1/2 of the state. Yes, it is a part of when we are actually dealing with the federal part of the federal provision of the constitution. So it is does. So the answer 97 is C. 3/4 का ऐसा कोई मेंशन नहीं है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कि 3/4 मेजॉरिटी चाहिए, ऐसा कुछ चाहिए. 3/4 का पूरे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में कहीं भी जिक्र नहीं है मेजॉरिटी का. 2/4 बाय सिंपल मेजॉरिटी या 2/3 है. ओके, 3/4 नहीं है. Question number 98, which of the following has been correctly matched? So it is a factual part. I'll just mark out the answer. So answer is none of these. 98 is actually D. Regulating Act, distinction between political and commercial function. It happened in Pitt's India Act में हुआ था ये. Prohibit the certain servants of the company from engaging the private practices is happened in 1793 से ये start होगा. ठीक है, the start begins and it will end till the last. Okay. Question number 99, which of the following is legal, is or are legal right or constitutional right, non-fundamental rights outside the purview of the third part 3 of the constitution? No tax shall be levied or collected except by the authority of the law. So, yes, it is there. Okay. No tax shall be levied or collected except by the authority of the law. So, which of the following is or are constitutional, legal, constitutional, non-fundamental outside the purview of part 3 of the Indian Constitution? Yes, it is there. No tax shall be levied or collected except the authority by the law. Right to vote is you can say, okay, it is a legal right. Trade, commerce, intercourse throughout the country of India shall be free. Yes, it is there. So, outside the purview of the Indian Constitution that we have is this 3. So, answer D is actually correct. D, option D is correct. Question number 100, consider the following statement on exception to equality as mentioned under the article 14. So, no member of the parliament shall be liable on any proceeding in the court in respect to anything said or vote given to him by the president. Yes, it is a privilege of the parliamentary members. Okay, this is the one thing. So, it is a privilege that is being given to them. Whatever they do, they say in the parliament, it remains in the parliament. It is not liable for the punishment. नॉर्मल कोर्ट में उसकी कोई प्रोसीडिंग नहीं होती है, उनका अपना इंटरनल है, वो एथिक्स कमेटी बैठती है, उसका मैटर में डिस्कशन होता है. सेकेंड इज नो सिविल और क्रिमिनल प्रोसीडिंग शैल बी इंस्टीट्यूटेड अगेंस्ट द सर्विंग मेंबर ऑफ द पार्लियामेंट. नो क्रिमिनल और सो दिस इज़ नॉट हैपनिंग. ऐसा कुछ इम्यूनिटी नहीं है कि क्रिमिनल और सिविल प्रोसीडिंग आपके खिलाफ नहीं होगी. इट विल बी हैपनिंग विथ यू. एंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोजीशन जो है, जो प्रेसिडेंट एंड गवर्नर हैं, उनके खिलाफ क्रिमिनल प्रोसीडिंग्स नहीं होती है, ओनली सिविल प्रोसीडिंग्स ही हो सकती हैं. ठीक है, और सिविल केसेस उनके उस टाइम पे जब तक कि वो हैं, जब तक के पोजीशन में बैठे हैं, जब तक कि नहीं होती है. ठीक है, सो फॉर दैट मैटर ओनली ऑप्शन ए इज़ करेक्ट. So, the for 100 the option A only one is the correct answer. So, thank you very much for this paper, for listening to our discussion, and we will see you soon with the next paper discussion. So, thank you very much.